Bulls Nation, today we had our second game off of our back-to-back against the Memphis Grizzlies, and in a very close game, the Chicago Bulls once again crumble in the fourth, giving away some terrible baskets and overall showing the Memphis Grizzlies waving us goodbye out of their arena. So unfortunately, the Chicago Bulls have suffered yet again another loss, and again, it is a very frustrating one to take. But we fought in this game, but we didn't fight hard enough, and in the fourth quarter, as usual, we fall away. So let's talk about the Memphis Grizzlies and the Chicago Bulls in this video. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls versus Memphis Grizzlies game reaction. The Chicago Bulls, the second game off of a back-to-back, meeting the Memphis Grizzlies for the first time this season, and overall fighting very well with the Memphis Grizzlies. But in the end, we decided that we would show ourselves out the door as we suffer a very dramatic and poor loss in the fourth quarter against the Memphis Grizzlies. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn your notifications on. And instead of asking you about how the Chicago Bulls played this week, I just want to know, what are your opinions overall on the Chicago Bulls as of today, as of this moment today? What are your thoughts on the Chicago Bulls? Are you frustrated? Are you optimistic? Are you sad? Are you happy? What are your thoughts on the Chicago Bulls? Because again, I feel a lot of emotions when I look at this Chicago Bulls team. At the end of the day, another loss to the in today's game, and a game that I really thought we had a chance of winning. The scoreline for this game was 101-90, and we are now on a 3-game losing streak after a recent 2-game winning streak. We've now lost 3 in a row, and against teams that are very winnable, especially the Timberwolves, then obviously the Atlanta Hawks. We were up by 13 in that game. In the Memphis Grizzlies, we showed a very good second and third quarter, and we had the advantage. But then once again, a terrible, and I truly mean with every sense of the word, a terrible fourth quarter saw the Memphis Grizzlies absolutely dominate us, scoring more than double or just under double the amount in the fourth quarter than the Chicago Bulls did. So in the end, did we fight in this game? Did we compete in this game? Absolutely, of course we did. We seem to compete in a lot of games, and that's how it should be. We should always be competing in games. But the same story goes. There's always a reason why the Chicago Bulls lose, and usually it's because we give up leads, usually it's because we can't be clutch in the fourth quarter, or it's because of our turnovers. There are multiple reasons why we lose the game, but we compete very well. So it depends on what you want out of this season, in my opinion, for you to be happy or sad or frustrated about this team. I truly believe that we had a chance to win this game, which is why I am very frustrated that once again we have blown a game that was very winnable for the Chicago Bulls. And I can't really say anything else besides that. To talk about the Memphis Grizzlies a little bit, I do want to talk a little bit about how the other teams play. I know this is a Bulls channel, but again, we versed the Memphis Grizzlies, so we should give a little bit of credit to them as well. I thought in the first half, Memphis Grizzlies were poor, very similar to the Chicago Bulls in a way. That both teams were very poor in the first half, but Memphis was poor as well. I think they missed a lot of open chances in the paint. And again, that's their priority. In the first half and a little bit in the third quarter, the Chicago Bulls outscored Memphis in the paint, which is Memphis's bread and butter. They love to score in the paint. That Valanciunas, who's a beast in the paint, and he showed that in today's game. Obviously, Ja Morant is a guy that loves to sky up above the rim. He's definitely a good paint player. And they have a lot of players. Dylan Brooks today as well played very good basketball and got a lot of shots in the paint. They are a paint-oriented team, and they showed that in true fashion in today's game, and especially in the fourth quarter where they dominated the Chicago Bulls in the paint. So that's Memphis Grizzlies, obviously, good game. I think defensively both teams were poor, and but offensively both teams were poor as well. And this is not a good game for either team. I understand the Memphis Grizzlies won, and that they won at a convincing rate in the fourth quarter, but both teams really did not play very well today, and I think that's fair to say. In the end, if you're a Memphis Grizzlies fan, you watch this video, you're taking a Chicago Bulls perspective, obviously you're going to be happy with the win. At the end of the day, a win's a win, similar to the Memphis Grizzlies and the Chicago Bulls in a way. I don't think any team cares about how well you play if you get the win. I think many people are at that stage of the season now where the win matters and nothing else really does. But for the Chicago Bulls looking at it and looking at it as a loss, I think it's fair to say both teams did not play well today. And in the end, that is something that we need to take on our stride and something we're going to have to move on against, because it was a very frustrating loss. And I just want to give you the score for every single quarter as well before we move on. In the first quarter, both teams scored 22 points. Obviously, the game was tied at that point, 22-22. The second quarter, the Memphis Grizzlies outscored the Bulls by 1 point. In the end, both teams were really poor in both quarters, and it showed with basically around 50 points for each team. The third quarter, the Bulls outscored Memphis 22-27, and that was definitely our quarter, and we took the lead in that quarter. And in the end, we showed that we can be a good team. We have an opportunity to win. But the fourth quarter, 31 points to 16, which means A, we can't score the basket. We didn't score the basket. B, Memphis decided to pick up their defensive pressure. And C, the Bulls decided they didn't want to play defense in the fourth quarter. It's as simple as that. And this has been an ongoing theme, but it's really, really telling to see that the Memphis Grizzlies nearly doubled our score in the fourth quarter. And that is where the issue lied in today's game. In the fourth quarter, we did not show up anywhere near of the level that you would want from a team that's trying to make that playoffs and trying to be in the play-in tournament, no less. So in the end, we have once again made it 10 times harder for us to bounce back and to fight over other teams, to fight with the Indiana Pacers, to fight with the Knicks that are currently above us. And it's making us kind of worried looking behind us. We are 2 games away from the Toronto Raptors. So anything can happen in this stretch, and we're making it very difficult for ourselves. So at the end of the day, the play-in tournament now needs to be the focus. Whether it's 9th seed, 8th seed, 7th seed, 10th seed, right now, we have to be focused on that play-in tournament. We still have a very good opportunity to make that play-in tournament, and hopefully we can make a shout and we can make some noise in the play-in tournament. But at the end of the day, that is our focus, and we're making it very difficult for ourselves to really believe that we can be in that play-in tournament. Right now, we sit 10th, 2 games behind the Raptors, so anything can happen. This is not a long shot by any stretch of the means. We could fall out, and we could truly see the Chicago Bulls once again prove that they are choke artists in a lot of games. And again, I'm not trying to be rude or cruel. At the end of the day, we've had all season now nearly. We've only have 20 games left of the season. We truly know what this team is about. I know we have new players coming in, but there are same issues that have been ongoing all season, and that is where the cornerstone of the Bulls' issues lie. It's the second chance opportunities, it's the turnovers, it's the lack of ball movement in some plays, it's the inconsistent quarters, inconsistent games, and these are the things that we've talked about all season, and it still has yet to change. So it's about developing that consistency, and maybe this season might not be that season, but again, I just hope that we focus on that play-in tournament, and let's just see what comes out of that. Because at the end of the day, I think we're good enough to make the play-in tournament. I really do. I know it doesn't show when you lose to Atlanta, Memphis, and the Timberwolves. You lose, and then you go on a 6-game losing streak prior to those 3 losses. We lost a lot in the second half of the season, but I still believe we have enough to make that play-in tournament. So hopefully the Bulls need to pick up their performances. It's as simple as that. There's no hiding, there's no running away. We have lost to winnable games, and this is the stretch where everybody said this is where the Chicago Bulls should shine. Right now, there's glimmers, but we're not shining. We're nowhere near shining at the moment. Let's go to the individual performers. Thaddeus Young, 20 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. I'm stunned that Thaddeus Young got 1 rebound, but outside of that, 20 points. I thought he was definitely the most aggressive player in terms of the paint. I thought Valanciunas made Vucevic pretty much scared to go into paint at times, and Thaddeus Young was really the only guy to go into the paint consistently and try and score. So in the end, Memphis did a very good job in terms of their rim protection at times, trying to get some of our well-known paint players to play on the perimeter, and it really affected the Chicago Bulls, especially in the fourth quarter. But Thaddeus Young played a decent game scoring-wise. Everywhere else, he could do a little bit better. It's as simple as that. Vucevic, 17 points, 1 assist, 10 rebounds. What I liked about Nikola Vucevic is that he took advantage of Valanciunas' weaknesses on the defensive side. That's simple as guarding the perimeter. Vucevic is a 41% three-point shooter. So that was where his game lied today. But again, anytime he did go in the paint, he was not the boss of that paint. Valanciunas bossed that paint offensively and defensively, and I think Nikola Vucevic understood that, which is why he had to take his game to the perimeter. At the end of the day, this is not a game I would really like to see consistently out of Nikola Vucevic. The past 3 games, he's struggled. He has struggled for the Chicago Bulls. So I hope that we can see a little bit more paint dominance in the next game against with Vucevic. And I hope we can see a little bit more ability to score with Vucevic. And defensively, I thought he actually played decently. I can't really complain about Vucevic's defense in today's game. A lot of Valanciunas' shots were very difficult to make, and some of them, you just have to say, fair enough, he makes them, you walk away, it is what it is. But for the most part, I think he had a few blocks in this game, so I don't think he was terrible defensively. But again, this is definitely not the best you'll see from Nikola Vucevic. Zach Levine, 21 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, and near double-double for Zach Levine. I thought Zach Levine played well in this game. Again, shot selection. He shot 2 from 8, I believe, from the three-point line in today's game. Not the best. And he kept with it. He shot a lot of threes today that really could have kept us in this game, but he missed them. So it's very unfortunate. But again, I thought Zach Levine was our best player today. So there's a consistent theme. Although we still have this new team, we have new players, we're playing slower, we're playing in the post more, we're trying to find our offense and defense, and many people are struggling in today's game as well. Zach Levine is the consistent. Zach Levine is still our best player. It's as simple as that. And that's what I've come to realize out of this stretch for the Chicago Bulls. In losing efforts, in efforts where the Chicago Bulls compete but lose, in efforts where the Bulls get blown out, in efforts where the Bulls are inconsistent, the consistent part of our team is that Zach Levine is our best player. And that has not changed at all. Daniel Theis, I believe, had 18 points, 2 assists and 3 rebounds, or 4 rebounds, I believe. Daniel Theis. Again, I'll show it on the screen. I'm sorry, I can't really see it from here. But for Daniel Theis, I definitely thought he was by far our best bench player, but in my opinion, he was probably the second best player on the team today. The stats might not show that, but in the end, defensively and offensively, Daniel Theis was elite in this game, and it's a shame that he came off with an injury to his hands. I hope that's not a serious injury, because I think Daniel Theis has proven that he is our defensive anchor off of that bench. Him and Troy Brown playing defense is very fun to watch at times, but in the end, he was definitely our best bench player and arguably the second best player in today's game. Many people might see him as the best player in today's game for the Chicago Bulls. A very good game from Daniel Theis, and I hope that he will be back in the next game. I hope he doesn't miss any time, and I hope he'll be ready to ball out, because we have some winnable games still coming up. I'll say it every time, and every time we lose is another wasted opportunity for the Chicago Bulls. And that's all I'm going to mention. I know Kobe White had 6 points, Lowry had 0 points, Sato had 2 points, Patrick Williams had 2 points. Again, there's been very ongoing struggles for the Chicago Bulls, and this is not the time to be carrying players out of struggles. This is not the time to carry Satoransky out of his struggles. This is not the right time to carry Patrick Williams out of his struggles. At the end of the day, we can't afford to be carrying players that are not reaching the level that we need for them to be effective in games like this. Satoransky struggled all game. He had 4 fouls. He was struggling all game. Patrick Williams doesn't get the ball at all. I mean, I saw the stats. There was a stat that said in the game that he hasn't scored in 8 quarters, Patrick Williams, until obviously he had his 2 points, I believe, in the 3rd quarter. 8 quarters he didn't score for the Chicago Bulls, and he only took 5 shots. I believe he took 3 shots in today's game. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe he took 3 shots in today's game. He made 1, he missed 1, and he got blocked in 1. So again, 3 shots for Patrick Williams. That's shocking. That is shocking. The Bulls need to do better, and Patrick Williams needs to be more aggressive. Anyway, I'm stunned. I really am stunned with some of the players that we had to carry today. The must improve. Again, when you score 0 points, I think it's fair to say you have to give it to Larry Marketing. I understand Sato had a terrible game, and I would love to give it to Sato, but there's just too many to pick from. I could say the entire team again, to be honest, but I'm going to pick Larry Marketing because he had 0 points. That's pretty much it. I don't have another reason, to be honest. I thought Larry Marketing actually found good spaces in the game where he was open. But again, when the ball doesn't get to him, what is he supposed to do? Is he just supposed to, I don't know, grab the ball off his teammate and make a shot for himself? It's difficult for Larry Marketing because in the end, he's a spot-up shooter. He's a guy that wants to go. Recently, he's been a guy that goes into the post. In the last 3 games, I've seen more post-ups from Larry Marketing than I've seen all season. And in the end, he makes around 1 of them per game. He made 1 in today's game, but it was called off. So, look, at the end of the day, he scored 0 points, and in the end, he's supposed to be that guy to be a scoring option for this team, and he had 0 points. I'm going to pick him. But in the end, if the Bulls can't get him the ball, what the hell is he supposed to do? So it's as simple as that. The player of the game is Zach Levine. Don't need to really go any much further into that. Daniel Tice is a good shout for this, but outside of that, don't think anybody else really deserves it. A near double-double for Zach Levine. I thought he played some good basketball today. He was facilitating, and he's doing his thing, and it's by far he's still our best player on this team. So there's an element of identity to us that Zach Levine is still the best player on this team, and it's also an identity that the Bulls need more coming up in this free agency period. The Bulls record is 22-31. We are now 9 games below 500. We are still the 10th seed. We are 2 games away from being the 11th seed. So there's still a lot to look out for in terms of this. I think it's going to be interesting. That's all I could say. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to watch at times when you see your team lose in very close fashions, when you see your team give up leads, when you see your team decide to choke in the fourth quarter. Again, if you're a Bulls fan, it's very difficult to watch the Bulls. It really is. Even though at times we're really fun to watch, there are other times where the Chicago Bulls simply frustrate you to the point of no return. And that's just how it feels being a Bulls fan. I think we can all relate to that in one way or another throughout the season, throughout many years for the Chicago Bulls. So again, it's very tough pill to swallow, but hopefully we can pull through. We can pull through into that play-in tournament. We can pull through and maybe make a shout and make the playoffs. That's the goal at the end of the day. So the playoffs is the goal. If we make that play-in tournament, we still have that chance. So whether we're 10th seeded or 7th seeded, we need to make the playoffs this season. That's where I think our interest lies. That's what all these trades that we've made were designed to do. And the Chicago Bulls need to go out there and do it. There's no more playing soft. There's no more playing with fear. There's no more playing with inconsistency. That we can't keep doing this and expect to have winnable games. We've been very inconsistent all season. I guess I don't really know the phrase, but I think the definition of delusion is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Being inconsistent every single game and expecting wins every single game is the definition of delusion. So in the end, I hope I said that right, and hopefully that makes sense. But in the end, if we're going to win games, we need to make some changes. We need to make some changes to this team. We need to make changes in their physicality. Billy Donovan said we're a physical team. We're not a physical team, and we showed in today's game that we are far from a physical team. We want to be a team that moves the ball. In the end, when it comes to moving the ball, if you don't do it effectively, you won't win games. We're still a very high turnover team. We lead the league comfortably in turnovers. If you want to be a team that has to go into the post more, why was Thaddeus Young the only player to really go into the post with any sort of consistency? Again, these are the things that Billy Donovan has said out of his mouth as well, and that is not the team that we are. So there needs to be changes to find that team that Billy Donovan wants us to be, because it's clear that we're not playing the way that Billy Donovan wants us to play. If that's by design, if that's by the players that we have, it's going to take time to adjust to everything, and I understand that. But this is not the time now to try and play soft or try to play the way that we played prior to the trades that we made. We need to step up, and this is the time to step up. With winnable games, we cannot afford to keep losing games. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, we will be out of the play-in tournament, and we'll be watching other teams fighting for a spot that we should be in. And that is the message that needs to get across to the Chicago Bulls. If you want to be in the play-in tournament, you want to fight for the place that you deserve to be in, then do it. Otherwise, you will be where the Raptors are. You will be where the Cavs are. You will be where the Pistons are. You will be where all these teams are right now that are looking above at you. You will be where the Wizards are. You will be watching other teams fight for the place that you deserve to be in. Don't be that team. Be the team that's in the play-in tournament, not the team that's watching the play-in tournament towards the end of the season. That's the message I have for the Chicago Bulls. Again, my message might go on deaf ears. Again, I doubt any Chicago Bulls players watch any of these videos, but that's the message I have for the Bulls. Be that team to be in the play-in tournament, not watch the play-in tournament. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Have a wonderful day. Again, frustrating loss, 3 in a row, winnable games. I mean, this is the lowest point in the season for me. I understand we lost 6 games in a row, but those 6 games were against elite teams, and it's unfortunate that we had all those teams in consecutive games. But these last 3 games, in my opinion, have been the lowest point for the Chicago Bulls in terms of our actual results. So that's exactly how I feel. Our next game is against the Orlando Magic, a very big game here. And again, leave the records aside, leave all the situations where the Magic are and where the Bulls are behind. This game is important for one reason and one reason only. This is the returning ground. This is the return game when Nikola Vucevic versus his former side. Where Al-Farouq Aminu, if he plays or not, I don't know what's happened with Al-Farouq Aminu, but he will be coming back against his former side. We're going to be versing Wendell Carter. Otto Porter, I don't believe, plays for the Wizards, or plays for the Magic, sorry. He hasn't played for quite some time, I believe, or if he plays, he gets very little minutes. So we're versing Wendell Carter in this game, and this is going to be a very interesting game. And Wendell Carter will come into this game with a point to prove, and Nikola Vucevic should be doing the same. So this should be a game where the Chicago Bulls need to pick up a win to support your new players, and pick up a win for our season. And let's see if we can do that. Again, have a wonderful and safe day. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Chicago Bulls Weekly should come out tomorrow. I apologize. Because of this back-to-back, I wasn't able to do it today, which is when it's supposed to be out every single week. It's meant to be out today. Unfortunately, the back-to-back kind of neglected that, but we will continue to do it. We'll make a Bulls Weekly in the next one. Take care, and peace.